Hey friends, welcome back. Today I want to talk about something that shows up for so many of us, especially when we are doing something vulnerable like making art. It's at that moment when the voice in your head says, "That's not good enough. You should ever know better. Why even bother?" And if you were ever paused, mid-brushstroke, mid-sketch, mid-idea, paralyzed by that kind of inner commentary, I want to gently ask you something. Whose voice is that? Really? Because here's what I've come to realize. A lot of our harshest self-criticism isn't actually ours. It's borrowed, echoed, absorbed from things we were heard, maybe years ago, from the teacher, a parent, a peer, or stranger online. Someone who didn't understand what we were trying to do or who projected their own fears onto us. And somewhere along the way, we started repeating it to ourselves. I had a moment like this not long ago. I was working on a watercolor piece and suddenly I heard that old inner voice say, "This looks not good. You should have got it right by now." It stopped me in my tracks. But instead of pushing through, I paused and I asked, wait, whose voice is this? Because that tone, that language, that judgment, it didn't sound like me. It sounded like someone I once admired, but who never made space for mistakes. And I realized that voice doesn't belong in my studio anymore. This is the practice I want to offer you today. The next time you catch your inner critic chiming in, pause and ask, whose voice is this? Really? Is it yours? Or is it something you were told once and unknowingly internalized? When we slow down and listen carefully, we can start to tell the difference between our true voice and someone else's fear masquerading as truth. And here's the magic. Once you spot the borrowed voice, you can choose to let it go. You can say, "Thank you, but no thank you. I'm listening to someone else now." And who's that someone else? You. The version of you that's gentle, curious. The version that knows mistakes are part of the process. The voice that doesn't need to be perfect, just present. So here's something I do now. When I hear the inner critic, I rewrite the script. Instead of "you messed this up," I say, "Look at you, trying something new." Instead of "this isn't good enough," I try, "This is a stepping stone, not a final piece." Instead of "people won't like this," I ask, "Do I like this? Does this feel true to me?" That's how we reclaim our voice. Not by silencing the critic instantly, but by choosing compassion instead. I will leave you with this. Every brushstroke, every line, every experiment you make deserves a voice that supports you. And the more you notice the voice that don't, the more power you have to tune them out. So next time you hear that harsh inner commentary, ask, whose voice is this? And then choose your own instead, because your creative voice is wiser, kinder, and more resilient than you think. Thanks for being here today. If this episode stirred something in you, I'd love to hear what voices you are letting go of, or what new affirming phrases you are inviting in. And if you haven't listened to last week's episode, The Art of Saying Yes to Yourself, that's a beautiful companion piece to this one. Until next time, be gentle with your inner artist. You're enough exactly as you are.